Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakmadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. And I want to say Shalom to Akamnakoth out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's titled, You Jakes Have Been Played by E. Alright, well I guess we can just say it. You Jakes have been played by Esau. Alright, by the Edomites. Alright, you Jakes, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have been played by the so-called white man. Right? Of course, we got to put E in the title because, they get all butthurt and sad when we put Edomite or, or Esau, right? Alright, and this is the lesson I mentioned yesterday, I believe. It's off that post from Ra Ilah Yasharallah. Yahweh Shai is coming back, 144,000. And you can see here. Now, throughout this lesson, we're just going to say Jake, alright, because that's who they're referring to. Alright, the Jake marriage. Alright, so, and that's exactly what they do. They call us these bywords, they put these names on us. Alright, and all this word really means is just, a dark-skinned person. Alright, and then they later changed it to mean stupid. Alright, and then they later attributed it to, Jake by just calling him that. Right? And you can look it up through Merriam-Webster, and you have, like even in the Bible you had, and they changed the wording of it, but, Simeon, who was called, right here, you can see it in Acts 13:1, it says right here, now, Acts 13:1, now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas and Simeon, who was called, alright, now people in the world would pronounce this Niger, or as of recently Niger, alright, but we all know what this word means, alright, so Simeon, who was called Niger, as they would say now, and Lucius of Cyrene, and Manaen, I'm not great with names, it says which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul. Now, if we go, I'm curious to see if Blue Letter Bible at least gets it. Acts 13:1, we can go over here and find this word. Alright. Let's see.
Strong's G 3526. Niger.
Alright, what does that sound like to you? It says here Niger, alright, but we all know how it's pronounced. It says it's of a Latin origin, alright. We'll play it one more time. Undisputable, alright. Esau tried to say something, but hey, let's listen to it again.
Strong's G 3526. Niger.
Alright, and what does it mean? It says black. Alright, surname of the prophet Simeon. Alright, black. It means black, and it really means, it really mean a dark-skinned person. But that's how it is, alright? It means black. So, that's all that word really means. They try to but if you go and look up the definition here, alright, and you go type it in, alright, and it says a contemptuous term for a black or dark-skinned person, alright, late 16th century from earlier, right? After Latin, black, all right? And then it says C Negro, all right? And of course, that's going to bring us over to, what does it say under that definition?
Negro.
All right, a black person relating to black people, all right? Which, of course, goes back to it says via Spanish and Portuguese from Latin, here as I guess it would be pronounced as over here Niger or Niger or Niger or Niger or they try to say all these different pronunciations. We know how it's pronounced. Let's go hear it pronounced.
Nigger.
There you go. So, that's how it's pronounced. And if we go back, it'll go, let's see, dated, often offensive. There's one, if you were go back to like the old dictionaries, It'll say a stupid person is what it will actually say. Let's see. Oh, that's not what we wanted. We wanted this one. Here we are. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. As you can see here, that's where it came from. First known use was 1755. In this style, right? In this writing, as it says. As insulting, contemptuous term for a black person. There was one definition. If you go and find like a old Merriam-Webster 1928. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, this one's, I think, just going to be a lot of Bible stuff. I don't think it'll have it. We can try. No, we need, try to find the 1913 version. Alright, they hide it, but they changed it at some point. I don't know at what point it was, but there was a secondary definition, meaning, you know, a stupid person. And actually, as a matter of fact, alright.
Niggard.
Alright, if you look at this.
Niggardly.
Alright, we can't pronounce certain one of these words, and I don't even know if that's gonna trigger the algorithm. Hopefully not, but of course we're just reporting on it. You know, you see where these words come from. They're not like good words. You know, this means, you know, miserly, or, you know, penny pinching, or, you know, close, stingy, right? A tight ass, all right? A tight ass. All right, if you go up to this, well, it's the same definition. It's just, you know, not plural, I guess. So, you know, going back. So that's what our people have been called. All right, notably the Southern Kingdom members. All right, they have other names for the Northern Kingdom. You know, beaner, spick, wetback. Right, all different types of names that they call us. Right, but you know they put all these they put all these, you know, bywords on us. All right, it's prophesied that it would happen. All right, but you know, so going back, so proving that it's you know that word really just goes back to a black. We kind of just went on it goes back to a dark-skinned person, really. But we kind of went on a tangent, but we wanted to go through the scripture, because they try to use this word as an insult, and Jake hates this word so much, and all it means is a dark-skinned person. It's the same thing, you know, how the word Negro changed, and Jake gets so offended over the name Negro, all right? And you know, one of our things that we say is, you know, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and certain Jake, you know, that's an outdated term. Well, you know, here you are today calling yourself, you know, black, all right? But if you were to go over to, you know, Mexico or Spain or Portugal or any of these Spanish-speaking countries, you'd be called, you know, negro, all right? And you'd be like, what the fuck did you just call me? And over there, that all that word means is black. Go look at a black crayon. You know, we're gonna look up a black crayon. What's it gonna say? Let's see if we can find the what it's called on there. Oh, look, right there. Look, black, negro, all right, or noir. All right, there you go. Different languages, okay? Different languages, okay? But, you know, Jake gets so offended over the word negro or negro, all right, which all it just means is black, but you have no problem in America being called a black person. Are you black? Are you the color of this crayon? No, you're not. So really, you should be upset with being called black, because you're not black, all right? You're Hebrew, but they're calling you black. Or you should be, you know, wanting to be called brown. Well, Mexicans are brown. You're the same color, just various different shades of darkness. All right, if I take, you know, green and make it darker. All right, if I look at this and green's over here and you make it darker, is that not still green? It's still green. So if you take brown and you make it darker, is that not still brown? It's brown. All right, but they got you conned into thinking you're black, over here looking like a piece of asphalt. Nobody looks like this. Nobody's this color, you know. But that's where you've been lied to, Jake, and you've been lied to in a multitude of ways. All right, going back, and you, Jakes, have been played by Esau. All right, and we're gonna get on the topic today. All right, this post from Rai La Yasharali Yahushai is coming back 144,000 that he posted. Another way you've been played. This is the main topic of the day, and I'm not sure where this came from. I guess we could try to find it if we just looked up. How do you spell it? Like that? That's not it. Is it the Willie Lynch letter? Let's let it load. Let's see what's going on here. I'd like to find out where this is from, to have more context on it. Let's see. Come on, man. What are you doing? I'm not solving no fucking puzzle. Oh, come on, man. This is annoying as shit. I want to see if I can find it. Well, I see it right here. Where is this from? What is this from? This is it here. Let's just search for this. The Willie Lynch letter, I guess, and I'm not sure what this is. Willie Lynch letter on the making of a slave is a study of slave making. Describes the rationale and the results of Anglo-Saxons' ideas and methods of ensuring the master-slave relationship. Originally published in 2008. Somehow I doubt that. 1712 to deliver a speech to slave owners to teach them cast irons. Yeah, 1712. It was really 1712. Alright, this is just the a republishing, basically, that happened in 2008. But I guess it's based off of this. Alright, document has been in print since at least 1970. It says, it has led to historians to conclude that it's a hoax. Sure. Let's go read and see if this is a hoax. And Esau's trying to cover their ass, as they always do. They're liars. Alright? They're liars. So let's go read what this means, what this says. Alright? We take, and we're just going to say Jake, or you could say dark-skinned person, or however. Alright? The Jake marriage. Alright? Let's see what Esau formulated. We breed 2 Jake males with 2 Jake females. Then we take the Jake males away from them and keep them moving and working. So they get them down, right, and get them down and dirty, right. You take the males, all right. You separate from the females and you keep the male doing hard labor, right. Keep the males doing the hard labor. It says, say one Jake female bears a Jake female, so the female has a female, and the other bears a male. Both Jake females, being without the influence of the male image, frozen with an independent psychology, will raise their offspring into reverse positions, and that's the importance of having a male in the house. All right, because when a male is not in the house, it basically transforms into a complete chaos. All right, and if you women don't like it, you don't like it. That's how it is. The actuality of it has been proven, all right, through what they've done with our people. If you look at the chaos that has ensued, and we're going to continue to read on because it's extremely accurate. It says the one with the female offspring will teach her to be like herself, right? So the Jake woman is going to do what? If she has a female offspring, and mind you, there are no men in the house. They separated the males. So it's just a single Jake female, right? The one with the female offspring will teach her to be like herself. She's going to be just like her mama, right? Independent and negotiable. We'll negotiate with her, through her, by her, we negotiate her at will. And, the Jake woman's very easy to persuade. That's why, they're right there with Esau. That's why, Tahar, Apostle Tahar, Slakia, not just Tahar, Slakia. Elder Apostle Tahar, let me call it, uses, title correctly. Elder Apostle Tahar, refers to and has been known to refer to as the Jake female as Esau's pit bull, right? it says, and they're very easy to persuade, right? They'll do anything for the Edomite male, but they won't do anything for the Jake male, right? And that's all because of this brainwashing, this programming. Says the one with the Jake male offspring, she being frozen with subconscious fear for his life. Oh, he's a Jake male. He's a Jake male. I'm afraid for him. What is she going to do? Will raise him to be mentally dependent and weak. Going to make him effeminate, right? Going to make him emotional, all right? But right? It says, but physically strong. In other words, body over mind. Now in a few years, when these two offsprings become fertile for early reproduction, all right, so when these children grow up to be, big, all right, to be adults, it says we will mate and breed them and continue the cycle. That is good, sound, and long-range comprehensive planning. It's a long-range planning. They're planning for the future, essentially, and that's exactly what have happened in this. And through the Planned Parenthood, through the welfare system. All right, that's how the welfare system originally worked. Just as this did, that's how the welfare system originally worked. Was by separating the males out of the house. You would not be able to receive help if you had a male in the house. So the male would go off and live in a different house. The female would live by herself. She would get welfare, so on and so forth. They'd be raised without a father, and continuing that cycle of making the men, effeminate. All right, making them, like bitches. All right, act like women. All right, being very emotional. All right, and instead of using, instead of mind over matter, they're matter over mind. They don't think with their brain, they think with their emotions, like females, because that they were raised by the female. Okay, they were raised by the female, and then these females, they were raised to be just like their mom, independent, negotiable. All right, to be able to be easily persuaded with anything, and low intelligent. Doing the same shit. You see what happens. Dressing just like them, getting. You basically, as they said here, they separate the male out, and now you have a very negotiable woman. And what do you put in her mind? That you're not beautiful, that your hair's messed up, you're ugly. All right, and then so what do? All right, even though they already look good, what do? They go and put weaves in their hair, and they go and wear wigs. All right, they go and try to bleach their skin that already looks good because they want to be just like the oppressor. They put in blue contacts, green contacts. Right? They try anything that they can possibly do to look just like the Edomite woman. All right, and because the so-called black male being separated from them, they see them as weak. All right, because now the black male has been raised to be weak. They've been raised to be mentally dependent. All right, and so physically strong but emotionally weak. All right, and very emotional like their mothers, like a female. All right, that's why you say, oh, I'm gonna kill you, and then they go home and cry. All right, because they're raised by women. All right, and that's how women are. They're very emotional thinkers. All right, men are not emotional thinkers. Men think logically. Men think logically. Women think emotionally. Okay, a man will think, I don't like the facts of this. I don't like the way, I don't like the facts. This isn't adding up. All right, the conclusion isn't what it should be. All right, this should be here and that should be there. Women don't think like that. The women think, I don't like the way it looks. I don't like the way it smells. I don't like the way it tastes. I don't like, how it makes me feel, or it makes me feel like this, or it makes me feel like that, or I feel like this should be that. I feel like this. That's how it's thinking. So you're imparting this feminine mindset on men, and that's a very fucking dangerous thing, because women are, if you any man that's ever been around a woman, they have quick burning fuses. Bam, they'll blow up, and then they'll start screaming, they'll start nagging and bitching, right? And they might even try to slap you a little bit, and hit you with those tiny little punches. All right, but here's the problem: when you impart that into a 6'7" man, all right, that's 275 pounds of fucking muscle, all right, and he blows up like a goddamn firecracker, bam, and he's throwing around blows or pulling off triggers. That's a very fucking dangerous situation to have. All right, and then also because of this, because the men are now effeminate, the women have taken on the positions of the men, and now you have these brawling ass, burly, wildebeests of women, all right, that can kick some ass for the most part. All right, and this is the cycle that they've done. All right, you Jakes have been, played by E. All right, and you take this and you say, this is our culture. This is our culture. We're from the hood, and well, this is what hood culture is. This is what hood culture is. It's that manufactured slavery mindset that's been pushed by the white man that you all have been fucking lied and conned and coerced into, and now you're fighting to keep it. When you say come out of the hood, you don't know this is our culture. This is our culture. No, it's not. It's the Edomites' culture that they built up for you. It's all through psychology. It's all through Esau's little mind tricks, and you're too dumb to understand it. Yeah, we said it. You're too dumb to understand it because you've been bred to be stupid and not think outside of the box. And anytime, and think about it, we mentioned this yesterday. Jake is the only people that will bag on you and fucking, drag you through the mud for being smart. You try to think outside of the box in a Jake family, and then what you think you're getting smart? You being smart with me? You think you're being smart? Look, this motherfucker thinks he's smart. He thinks he can grow up, go to Harvard. You think you smart? You ain't smart. And they're the only ones that'll drag their own family members through the goddamn dirt, for being smart. We mentioned it yesterday. If you go to a Chinese mom and say, I'm going to be a doctor, they'll say, oh, that's very good. You go to a Japanese mom and say, I'm going to be a doctor, so that's very good. If you go to an Indian mother and say, oh, I'm gonna be a doctor, that's gonna, they'll say, oh, that's very good. You go to any nation, Edomite, oh, that's very good, and they might even help you with money to pursue your career. If you go to a Jake family and say, I'm gonna be a doctor, all right, in the hood, I'm not talking about your regular run-of-the-mill Jakes, out of the hood. If you go in the hood and say, in this hood mindset, the black culture, if you will, that Esau has set up, and you say, I'm gonna be a doctor, and they say, oh, well, you think you smart? Why do you think you're gonna be a doctor? You dumb as hell. You dumb as and that's what they're gonna do, because that's what Esau has planned. They have trained Jake to keep them down. They've trained the black male, the so-called black male, to be emotionally unstable, the women to be emotionally unstable, and to be barbaric, and that the black man is nothing, and that the black woman is nothing, and then it's just a cycle, man, that it just keeps each other at each other's throats, and Jake never sees it, but they still want to pursue that hood culture. I'm in the hood. The hood is a fucking social experiment by Esau that has been running for fucking ages, and it works. All right, because it's like it says. It's right here. It says at the end. It says, now in a few years, when these two offsprings become fertile for early reproduction, we will mate and breed them and continue the cycle. This is a fucking cycle, all right? And it's a cycle, and it cycles, and it cycles, and it cycles, and it cycles. How does a cycle work? If you look at a bicycle, why? Because you have the cycles on it. What are the wheel that spins round and around? Does it ever change? No, it goes round and around and around and around and around and around, right? That's the cycle. And you Jakes love that cycle. You call that cycle your culture. You call that Edomite, manufactured, racist, systemic racism, slavery ass culture, or planning your culture. And then when somebody says that's not your culture, you say, well, that is our culture. And there's so many levels to it. And then they force feed you that you're Africans. You're not Africans. You look nothing like Africans. They're keeping you from knowing that you're Israelites. Okay? When you go through Deuteronomy, what do you find out? Well, that's not happening to anybody else, that hasn't happened to anybody else but so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right? And then they even do even more further shit in the hood, and they separate, the so-called Negro from the Latino and the Native American, all right? And they break them up to hood, barrio, and reservation, and they keep and sometimes you have the Native Americans, and and you have them intermingling, all right? You have Latinos in the hood, sometimes you get so-called Negroes in the barrio, and so on and so forth. But they try to really keep them segregated, because that's what it is. It's segregation. They have a different plan, a different mindset for each. They want to keep the they want to keep the black person down in gangs, stealing. They want to keep the Latino, breeding, and they want to keep the Native American, getting drunk, alcohol, keep them on peyote, keep them on the res, keep them away from everybody else, right? And they want to keep all of our people in a specific mindset, and it all kind of commingles into this ghetto mindset at the end of the day. But you Jakes, you've been played by E, man, and you don't even get it. All right, so this is Psalms 52:7, because I'm talking too much. This is Psalms 52:7. This is Esau, right? It says, lo, this is the man that made not Yahweh his strength, but trusted in the abundance of his riches and strengthened himself in wickedness. So he uses his riches, all right, to further his motive, and he strengthens himself in his wickedness as well. And what is his wickedness? All these different things like this. And this is just one page of just some shit, man. And that doesn't talk about like all the things that they've done to Jake, all the scams and the mindsets that they put you into, and hey, man, that's just how it is. That's just how it is. And putting all these bills on you, so you got to spend your money fast. All right, and that makes it to where Jake can't really save money. They have bad, they're bad with their money. all right, which is part of the curses as well. But, you know, part of that curses, I believe, is also a mindset. And that's just that's just a belief. You know, a lot of people think the curse is that you just can't get money. All right, one of my beliefs, all right, this is just me. All right, I think it stems further. The curses go through, you know, not only just not being able to keep money, but not having the mindset, you know, to not have the mindset to keep that money. Right? It's not necessarily that you can't get the money. It's a curse on the mindset. All right. Now, because we know the whole head is sick. There's problems with Jake's mind because of, you know, all this wickedness and that what they've been put through. You know, part of my, you know, one of my thoughts is that, you know, the curse is there no matter what. But some people think it's, oh, you just won't get money. I think it's that you can get money, but I think the curse, it affects the mind, and it makes it to where, you know, you can't budget right, you can't plan right, because, hey, that's how it is. And again, that's just a thought. It's, you know, it's nothing at the end of the day. But you got to look how Jake is, man. Like, when they have that money, it just goes away. And it's not necessarily through not having the money. They get the money. And it's not necessarily because of the bills. It's because of Jake. What do? Their culture. Their culture, right? Their culture of Nikes. Their culture of Gucci. You know, if you go and you work at a job, you're working minimum wage, you're a Jake, you're not getting paid much. All right, or if you even manage to get a little bit above, say if you're making $12 an hour and you're working, I don't know, you get paid bi-weekly 2 times a month, and you get say your paycheck's $600, and you go and buy a Gucci shirt for $300, that's half your check. All right, and then food, that's that's another good amount, and then you got to pay rent, you're done. I ain't got no money. Well, but you're wearing a Gucci shirt while you're over here being hood rich, and you know, that's part of that mindset that's all fucked up. And that's all through Esau again. That's all through Esau, you know, and that's also through Jake trying to want fancier things, because that's naturally how Jake is, all right, through that line of royalty as we are, all right? We want nicer things, we want fancier things, right? But we don't have the money or the situation, all right, to really, you know, afford that. Well, you see Jake's, you know, with a Rolls Royce in the hood, or some shit, you know, just something stupid, you know, a ran down house, but they got a fucking, you know, Hellcat sitting in the driveway, you know, no gas in it, all right, and they make, you know, and it's ridiculous, man. And this is, you know, you've fallen into Esau's snares, all right. This is their trick. All right, and when you try to pull Jake out of it, say, hey, that Black and Mild, those Newports, those Cools, that rap CD, those mixtapes, those those Timberland boots, those puffer coats, you know, that's just a bunch of bullshit, all right, that has been, you know, force fed to you to be part of your culture. That's not part of your culture, all right. We weren't wearing Timberlands and puffer coats in the not in the kingdom, but biblically, we weren't smoking, you know, Newports, Cools, and Virginia Slims, and biblically. All right, that's not something we were doing. All right, we were not making rap CDs or doing these things. All right, this is a culture that's been pushed on you, especially that gangster rap, man. And that's all part of that shit in Hollywood, man, where they literally there's articles about that. There's a video about it. I don't know about articles. I meant videos. There's a video about it talking about I can't remember what you do. It was some dude talking about how back in the 90s they came and they had these dudes, you know, in suits. Talked about how they were basically, you know, had privately owned prisons that they're making money off, and you could buy and invest stock, all right, but you had to be, you know, you had to talk about, you know, gang shit and violence, all right, because they were trying to get people locked up and put into that system, and then you could make money off it, and a lot of those rappers did that. NWA, right? A Tribe Called Quest all of a sudden switched up. Who else? Trying to think, man. Smith and Wesson. Who else? I'm trying to think of like just hardcore, you know, that Tupac and Biggie era. Who else? I'm trying to think of like hardcore gangster rap. You know, of course, Eazy-E did his solo thing. Ice Cube did his solo thing. You know, you had Eminem wasn't really in the forefront, but throughout the 90s, you know, it wasn't really gangster rap, but it did, idolize, you know, but like killing and guns and heavily drug use, a lot of drug use with Eminem's music. Trying to think of other rappers, let's look up 90s rappers. Tupac, you know, Big Pun had a little bit of that. I don't know how much his stuff was. I didn't really listen to a lot of him. Snoop Dogg, can't forget Snoop Dogg, right? Nas, would he be considered a gangster rapper? His stuff, I guess a little. Wu-Tang and all them, lightly. Who would they consider? You know, let's look up gangster rappers. Yeah, the Ghetto Boys, right? Yeah, Brother Lynch Hung, can't forget about him. Redman, Method Man, The Game, Corrupt, yep. Scarface. Who else? Dr. Dre, he wasn't no gangster. Wu-Tang Clan, DMX, yeah, DMX. Nate Dogg, Mobb Deep. Yeah, I guess some of their stuff was gangster rap. The West Side Connection, which was just all those other guys anyway. Cypress Hill was gangster rap. Speaking of West Side Connection. Method Man, MC Ren, Ice-T, yeah, Ice-T was a gangster rapper, kinda. I never took him too seriously though. But you know, and you know, to get you in that system. See, I want to be just like him, you know. So continuing on, moving on, and that's what and then now you have Jake, and because Jake wants to be just like rappers, man. They want to be just like rappers. Look at every new rapper that comes out. Jake will look like them for a couple weeks, you know. You had Migos come out, you had Jake looking like a fucking idiot. You know, you had Chief Keef come out, Jake looking like a fucking idiot. That tight white shirt with those tight pants, and you know what that means. You know what that means. You know what that tight white shirt means. All right, it means they had to do some booty stuff. All right, Proverbs 4:16. Again with Esau, for they sleep not. Esau, here we go. What do? For they sleep not, Proverbs 4:16, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. That's that's their hobbies. You know, you think about Jake's hobbies. What do they got? You know, think about Jake's hobbies. You know, they got singing, dancing, clubbing, having fun. What else? Playing card games, drinking, hanging out, talking, chatting, having get-togethers, barbecues, cookouts, right? Esau's, fun and games in their culture. They like to kill, maim, rape, rob, murder. They like to lie and deceive, and come up with elaborate stories that throw people off their trail. That's what they like to do. That's their favorite things, right? Proverbs 4:16, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. They can't even sleep right at night. You know how some people, they say, oh yeah, you'll never be able, like in the military, if you had to shoot someone in the face, you wouldn't be able to get some good sleep. Every time I sleep, I see their face. All right, well, that's different with Esau. They can't sleep unless something like that has happened. They see someone's, screaming and blood-curdling scream and getting shot in the face. They're like, oh, good. That's like taking a melatonin to them. Now they can finally sleep. They're like, oh, good. All right, good. We did some terrible things today. Good. And they lay down and then they get some sleep. That's Esau, man. That's Esau. They're evil people, and you, Jake, have been conned by them. You Jakes have been played by E. You've fallen into it. You've been conned, schemed, scammed. You've been lied to. You women, everything, man. It's all set up by E. All right, and it's all Yahweh Shemiah Shai is allowing. You can't give all the credit to E, right? You can't just say, oh, he's doing it. It's not by any of their own doing. Yahweh Shemiah Shai is allowing this to happen because, Esau is his whipping stick, man. Because he's the punishment for these nations and for us, our Israel, for what we've done. All right, for the people, for the people that haven't turned back to him, that are still in that worldly mindset, that being two-thirds, these two-thirds, these two turds, right? And that's the state of how this, and so you can't just say, oh, it's all Esau, because the Lord is very good and he's very, very bad at the same time, right? He gets down, he has his left hand and his right hand. On his right hand it's for his elect, and the left hand, hey man, everybody can get it. All right, the 2/3 of the nations can get it. All right, he kills and he makes alive, right? He wounds and he heals. Okay, and part of that, is even the devil for the, let's get it. This is Proverbs 16:4. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. And I accidentally said, devil, but it's the same thing. The devil, the wicked, right? Esau, Edom, they were made for the day of evil. They were made as a whipping stick, right? As a switch, right? Go out there, get that switch and get your ass whooped, right? That's what these Edomites, these devils were made for, man. All right? And they're doing these things, all right? But Yahweh Shem Yahushua has allowed them to do it. They're not, they're not some super powerful person that can just do it all on their own. All right? The Lord's allowing it. And if he didn't want something to happen, it wouldn't happen, right? So these devils are being used as your whipping stick, and look what has happened, Jake. Look what has. You think this is your culture now, man? And Jake and this you got these conscious Jakes that don't know anything, and half of that consciousness shit is led by Esau. All right, a lot of that consciousness bullshit, and that's what it is a bunch of bullshit. It's led by Esau. That Kemet, that fucking it's like you're messing with my chair. That Kemet shit, that fucking African roots, the fucking Nation of Islam, all that bullshit. That shit's led by E, man. That shit's led by E. You've been scammed. You think, I'm actually an African. What I really am is an African Israelite Islamist. That's what I actually am. That's our true root. Because we each, there's actually a bunch of it that's all merged into one, and you have to get each part. And that's who we are, and we have to have dreads because those get, it's shit like that, man. You got these bug outs that are just fucking through. You don't have to have, 3 different, religions or 3 different, and Jake just really, it's just, they're trying to find, and the Lord's not dealing with them, and they're trying to find something, and they're just bugging themselves out, fucking falling into Kemet, or we're really Egyptians, and you might be, we're not, you might be. All right, you must be a Hamitic then. All right, you're not an Israelite then if you're an Egyptian. All right, walk like an Egyptian, fucking walking around doing the hand shit. All right, because you're all bugged out. We're African Egyptian Israelite Moors, brother. What are you talking about? You can't just be multiple things at once. No, we're Israelites. Yes, Moors. We were Moors. We're Israelites. Yeah, see, we were Moors, but we were Africa because we're Africans. No, we're not Africans. Well, see, but that's where the Kemet comes in because in Egypt, no. And there's people like this, man, bugged the fuck out, completely gone. Reading 7 different books at once. All right, having the Quran and the Torah and the Bible and the Book of Enoch, all right, and the Book of Adam and Eve and the Book of Mormon. No, man, you don't know. No. And that's what happens because Jake trying to find themselves out. It's right here, Jake. All right, but you don't want to believe it. No. Because when you tell them you can't eat, when you tell them, when you ruin Jake's culture, all right, then they don't want nothing to do with it. And black culture don't fit in with being a Hebrew Israelite. All right, black culture, you can't eat catfish and be a Hebrew Israelite. You can't eat, pork legs or pork feet. Or pork lips or chitlins, all right, or ham hock. All right, you can't put ham hock in your greens. All right, you can't do certain things like that. You can't go to those seafood boils. All right, and have crawfish, and you can't have none of that. You can't bring that. You can't have dreadlocks. All right, you can't be a gangbanger. You can't smoke weed and cools. All right, and get and do all those things and be a Hebrew Israelite. That's not how it works. So Jake don't want anything. When you ruin that black culture, when you don't allow that black culture to come up, so you can have black culture in Nation of Islam. You can have black culture and be, and go into what was the other one? Nation of Islam, or be an African or Kemet. You can do all those things and still bring the blickety black blick, right? You can bring all that with you. And hell, and unfortunately, some of these as so-called, right, Hebrew Israelite camps. All right, and I'm saying so-called because they call themselves that, but they have no right. All right, because what they teach you can do all those things and you can still be blickety black. That Sakari shit. All right, that's that. They still want to have that black culture involved. And that destructive, mindset that how are you gonna wake up and be a Hebrew Israelite and put off the old man and put on the new, but still, keep up the same shit that Esau put on you and lied. It don't make no sense. There you go, Sakari. It don't make no sense. They're how are you gonna have one of these? One of these things is not like the other. What are you gonna do? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. It literally does not make any sense. You can't be a thug Israelite. It just doesn't. Look, Jake is just gone. They're through. They don't know what's going on, man. They really just don't know what's going on. They want to keep that black culture, but they want to come back to their heritage. And your heritage isn't the black culture. You can't have both. All right? That's like being a straight gay. It doesn't make any sense. That's like being a vegan whose favorite food is steak. It doesn't make any sense. You just can't do it. You can't be a thug gangster and be an Israelite. That's not how it works. You're either a thug, all right, or you're an Israelite. Choose one. You can't combine both, right? Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. Never, and this is why, Esau, you never trust Esau. If they say some shit, you should automatically assume it's whatever the weather's gonna be bad today. You should automatically assume the weather's gonna be good, right? And I'm going overboard with it, but I'm saying when Esau says something over here, if they say something to the left, you should be thinking to the right, because whatever they say is always back fucking assward, man. They always say the complete opposite of some shit. If they say, eating eggs is bad, you better start eating eggs, because you best know that those things are good for you. All right, when they say, oh, this is really good for you, that shit's bad, man. You better stay the fuck away from it. You better stay away from it. Pork is actually really healthy. No, it's not. It actually has a lot of vitamins. Nope, stay away from it. Stay away from it. It's all cholesterol and unhealthy bullshit, and you're not supposed to be eating it in the first place. Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Right? And so they'll say anything. They will say anything. It's the devil we're talking about here. They're going to act like the devil. They're not going to be nice. They're not going to tell you good advice. They're going to give you bad advice. Psalms 52 and 7. Lo, this is the man that made not Yahweh his strength, but trusted in his abundance of his riches and strengthened himself in wickedness. We already got that, but we got it again, right? So, hey, these Jakes are just, hey, they're through. They're through. And you're believing, and here we got Esau, that's using their riches and their wickedness, all right, to do all these things. They're not trusting the Lord. And you Edomites, you Edomites too. You Jakes have fallen into that snare and trap, and you think Daddy E's gonna help you out. Nope. But hey, Esau is gonna get their payback. They're gonna get theirs. All right, they got something coming to them, and it's not gonna be fun. This is 2 Maccabees 7 and 31. It says, and thou that has been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews shall not escape the hands of Yahweh. Look, you're not gonna escape, E. All right, you've done all this shit, and there's so much shit. Look, this shit. You got all the hood, the lying, the money problem. There's so many different ways, that you've lied and conned and scammed and hurt and killed and tortured and maimed and did stuff to the Israelites. And you think you're just gonna make your way out? No, the Lord's gonna mess you up royally. All right, because He Himself is royalty. Right? The royal, all right, complete. And Esau doesn't even know what royalty is. If you ever watched that inauguration, all right, that shit was pathetic. All right, it looked sad. All right, it looked very sad. All right, if you look at any time you see like the Queen, well, before she died, riding on a horse or something, trying to look royal, and they're playing. It's play school, man. It's play school. They're playing dress up. That's all they're doing. They're playing dress up. Look at us, we're royalty. No, you're not. You look like an idiot. And they do all these dumb things. You have to hold your fork like this. Fuck out of here with how you're supposed to hold your fork. What the fuck are you talking about? You have to hold your fork like this. And we have 7 different forks. This fork is for grapes. This fork is for, lettuce. This is a salad fork. This is a meat fork. This is a bread fork. This fork is, you don't use this fork. It's just for looks. All right, this is a placement fork. And this fork you place to the left, all right, and you place it there 6 times, all right, because that's our favorite number. All right, and this is a fork, and it just has 13 on it because we like that number. This fork, this is for corn. This is our corn fork. What is that? Here's our 32 different spoons. This is a coffee spoon. This is a tablespoon. This is a spoon for soup. This is a spoon for bread. This is a spoon. Look, come on, man. If you don't use it like this, you're royalty. And we tap our spoons together 3 times before we eat it. No, All right, and when we drink, we hold our pinky up in the air. Look, you know, you do all these things for your little royal. It's like little kids, you know. It's like little kids when it's, you know, and they have to do their little thing. It's their little ritual that they do. It's dumb, you know, and they really think they're royalty. All right, because you hold a spoon a different type of way. We are royalty because of how we hold our spoons. Whatever you say there. All right, whatever you say. I don't think royalty would be eating swine. All right, and pig asshole. But hey, I guess they are. I guess that's a royal thing here in this society. Ezekiel 35:2-4. Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. And who lived in Mount Seir? The Edomites, the Idumeans, right? Verse 3, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Verse 4, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. All right, and the Lord has messed up Edomites and has continued to mess up Edomites, and in the future will mess up Edomites continuously. Because, hey, why? Let's get Amos 1:11. This is Amos 1:11. Thus saith the Lord, and we're going to close out after this. Amos 1:11. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, Idumea, Esau, right? And for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. Why won't the Lord turn away the punishment of Esau? It says, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. Right? Esau kept Esau, you know, hated us perpetually. All right? And hey, so Esau's gonna get destroyed, man. All right, he's gonna get destroyed. He's gonna go into slavery. It's not gonna be fun. All right, but right now, you Jakes, man, hey, now's not the time to be messing around. Now's the time to be waking up. All right, through Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, because you know, look, you Jakes been played. Your culture ain't your culture. All right, your culture is a lie that Esau has given you. Your real culture is as Israelites. All right, the Israelites in the Bible. That's you. That's you, Jake. Real royalty, all right? Real royalty, not yachts and Cuban link chains and cigars, all right? But actual real royalty, all right? Real gold, all right? Real gold, okay? Your Jake's been played by E. So with that, we're going to go ahead and close out. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Makakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing. Shalom.